All right, greetings everybody. Today we're going to learn how to compact the size of our virtual machines. As you know, virtual machines are big and they could take up a lot of space. As you can see here, 80 gigabytes, 127, 36 gigabytes, 25 gigabytes, and that takes up a lot of space on the storage here. So today we're going to learn how we could shrink these down to size so we can use our computer and use these VMs in a more reasonable sense. So first, we're going to make sure that our storage is dynamic, right? Is dynamic storage. So we're going to go over to the settings here. We're going to check out. We're going to look at our storage, and we want to see dynamically allocated storage. That means that the virtual, the VBox image that we're working with, its format is VDI. If you see that VDI and the details are dynamically allocated storage, you're free to move on. So what we're going to do is we're going to head into our VM and make sure that we have certain programs installed. Now for our Linux side, it's program you need is the program is 0free. And on Ubuntu and Debian flavors, we use apt. Use apt as a package manager in order to install this program. What's going to happen, this program is going to do is going to take up all the empty space that we're not using on our VMs, and it's going to write zeros to it so that when VBox can see them next, it could help us compact the size and make it more manageable for our host operating system. So what we're going to do is obviously we're going to install it. This is Kali. This is an OS used for cybersecurity, so it's going to have these tools installed. But if you don't have it, or if you're using CentOS or Fedora, you want to find a different package manager that can help you install the program. If you're using Debian or Ubuntu flavors of Linux, then you can go ahead and install 0free. So once we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and shut down our VM. What we're going to do is that we're going to start our VM in the recovery mode. So let's go ahead and start. And obviously we're going to choose the recovery mode for our latest stable version of the kernel that our operating system is using. Go ahead and enter your password. Now there's things we need to grab some information. First of all, we want to just know where our OS is in terms of drives. So our OS is always going to be located in /dev/SDA1. That's where it is. That's where it's located. That's where our OS is. Very, very important. Very, very important that you identify that it's /dev/SDA1. It might be something else if you're in a corporate setting, or if you're working, or if you're mounting drives while using Linux operating systems. But for mostly important, obviously for beginners, obviously this Kali, if anyone can recognize, was just recently installed. So it will be located here at /dev/SDA1. Now the next important thing is that we want to understand the file system. Just a very important thing that we know. So we use the df with the T, with capital T flag, to figure out our file system. The file system here is ext4. Nothing particular, but when you're going to mount and remount this drive, we want to make sure that it matches up so that our OS can recognize it properly and we can use our machine as normal. So what we're going to do is I'm going to explain first that right now our OS, that /dev/SDA1, where our OS is mounted. We need to unmount it in order to edit it. So it's just like working on a computer, messing with its cables while it's on. It's a bad idea, and we want to turn it off before we do such work. So this is how we're going to unmount our drive. We have to do it carefully because obviously the drive mounted is the drive that we're using to interact with our terminal or the computer here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to run these commands. And important, the file system. Very important right there. Obviously, I placed the ext4 file system so that we remount it in read only. And this is very important. We want this unmounted, but also if you mount it in read only mode, 0-free can work with that as well. So. All right, so obviously this operation, sometimes you don't see your prompt. If you do it clear and run it again, sometimes the operation doesn't allow you to see a prompt again, but doesn't mean that it's running in the background. It's usually some things you have to read between the lines as to what's going on. Or just asking that we just unmount and remount our OS file system. So now we're going to go ahead and run this command, 0-free. Now we're able to run 0-free on our OS file system, which is going to take a while because, as you can see here, the actual size is about 25 gigs. And writing zeros to all that, obviously for the technically minded, that's going to take a while. So I'm just going to run this program and we're going to wait so long as I'm going to pause this video and come back when we're ready. All right, so once you're done here, obviously you want to do a halt. You just want to disconnect all of our devices from the OS from now. All right, it's just a proper reset of the OS here, and then we're going to go ahead and shut it down. All right, so what we want to do now is that we want to go into our we're going to go into PowerShell. Our CVS PowerShell is another way to do this. Now we want to go ahead and we want to use our VBox Manager command to go ahead and compact this disk, as you can see from these commands here. So now we're going to have to locate where it is. And Oracle usually downloads that installs itself VM in the program file. So if we go to CD program files, wasn't prepared, just guessing from here. Hey, yeah, found it. All right, so you can see VBox Manager is here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead. I went and typed it, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at our VMs here. All right, so you can see I have 4 VMs, and the locate and what we're looking for is our Kali Linux VDI. Right, so you can see this is the location. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy that, and we're going to go ahead and compact the disk here with this command. VBox Manager, still using the VBox Manager. So right, and this is going to take a while as well, but unlike 0-free, this command actually shows you its progress. So we're going to go ahead and pause here. All right, so now we're done. We've compacted the disk, and now we're going to see the results in our VirtualBox Manager. So go ahead, you look at Virtual Media Manager, you can see now that, let me go ahead and refresh here. We can see now our updated size is 16 gigs. So before it was 24, now it's 16. That's nearly 10 gigs that we saved in space, right? So obviously we could do this with VDIs, and as long as you have Kali, even there's options. This is a Windows Enterprise Edition. There's an option as well that I'd go over, but with Windows, it's a bit more complicated. So we save that for another video. But that's how you can save space on your host OS, on your drive. so that you can have more VMs and do more if you want with the notebook or your remote laptop, instead of having to work directly with your server or in the corporate or getting a workstation, paying extra dollars. So those little tricks can save you a lot of money. Thanks for watching and subscribe.